As an entrepreneur, idea validation is arguably the number one key to success. After all, it's one thing to have a great idea, but what you think is a great idea might not be to someone else. If you spend your time creating something based only on what you like, you'll be too narrow in your thinking and miss out on the opportunity to reach a wider audience. Today, we're going to show you how you can save time, money, and energy by validating your ideas without the cost of trial and error. So we're going to cover the following 3 success tips. Number 1, what happens when you build something without validation? Number 2, the power of validation. And number 3, the validation process. And you'll want to stick with us to the end when we'll tell you how you can learn our business validation method for free.
Hi, I'm Deidre Harder, a CPA and business strategy coach, and this is my partner, Carmen Reed Gilkison, a certified whole person coach. We started our business, Encore Empire, to help women in midlife who want to grow a profitable online business in a way that leverages their life experience and honors their values to provide the financial and time freedom they have worked so long and so hard to attain. So let's start talking about success tip number 1. What happens when you build something without validating first? Well, as Carmen mentioned, the unfortunate result is a waste of time, money, and energy. Now, we can always replace money, but we cannot replace time or energy that we lose. And that's why it's so critical to be working smarter and not harder. Now, if you're a new entrepreneur, you may not even know about idea validation or business validation processes and how that whole thing works. And that's why we're here to help you. But if you're an entrepreneur who already is in business, you may have actually fallen into a trap of having done some validation or at least gotten enough information from clients or potential clients or friends with this idea, and you decided to just run full speed ahead. So what happens? You build out your offer, your product or your service, and you think you know what the problem your clients have, because that's what everybody says, right? Find a pain point and give them the solution. So you may think you know what that is. So you just go for it and begin to build out the solution in the form of a service or a course or a program or even a product. Now, that may have worked out exactly as you anticipated, and you hit all your sales goals, but maybe it didn't work out quite like you thought it would. Now, what we've seen in working with entrepreneurs and businesses over and over again is that building out anything based on either no validation or partial validation almost always results in lackluster sales, a constant struggle to get leads and paying clients, and a whole lot of time lost in going back to the drawing board. Now, have you ever experienced anything like that? Now, you get this whole thing together, you're certain that it's a great idea and people are going to love it, and then it just kind of falls flat. So you might think it's the wrong idea. Well, maybe it's the wrong offer. Or it could be a wrong marketing tactic. Or maybe you're just not good at selling. But you know what? Most of the time, it's not any of those things. We tend to scrap what we did, and then we start building the next offer without really stopping to take the time to kind of analyze it a little further. And this wastes so much time and energy in that process. So how do you avoid all of this? Well, it's through the power of a full validation, which Carmen is going to explain.
That's right. So success tip number 2, the power of validating. So when you validate an idea with your target audience by connecting with individuals and finding out what their pain points and desires are, you'll be amazed at what they tell you. As opposed to running with your idea and falling into the traps that Deidre just mentioned, spending time with people you want to sell your idea, product, or service to will enable you to create something with much more depth and clarity. When you bring it to market, your audience will feel that you're reading their minds. And that this solution to the problem you're solving is exactly what they want. There's no better way to set yourself up for success than to work collaboratively with the people you want to help. It's easy to fall into the trap of working in a vacuum and just going for it, right? We get a great idea and we just want to do it. Oh my gosh, I can just see how great this thing's going to be. But what you have to remember is that you're the expert, which means you've long ago solved the problem that your target market is just now experiencing. And so your viewpoint is now at a much different level than theirs. And when you speak to the level that you're at, you'll likely miss the mark because they don't yet have the knowledge you do. So it's not going to resonate with them. It's easy to forget how we felt in the beginning stages of a challenging experience when we left those stages years ago, right? So you can think back and you can think you're remembering, but it's not the same as when you're able to talk to the people in the thick of it that's going to have it all come flooding back to you. And you want to really write your copy and create your product from that place of that emotional feeling that they're going through right now. And you can't get that without talking to them. So by connecting with real people, experiencing the problem you solve, you'll be reminded of so many nuances that would have never crossed your mind without doing that. The bottom line is create in collaboration with the people you want to help.
And that brings us to success tip number 3, the validation process. Now, the validation process, there's 4 main steps to it. And I'm going to walk you through those 4 steps right now. So the first step in this process is to identify an idea that sells. Now, identifying the ideas that will be the best fit for who you most want to help and one that can be easily monetized. Now, this is where people miss the mark because not all solutions are something people will pay for or pay enough to sustain your business. And so this is a big piece. It could be the greatest idea in the world and a whole lot of people might want it. But if it's not going to generate the income and the profits that you need to build your business out, then it's not going to be successful for you. So the second part of this process is to hone in on your top buyers. Now, this doesn't mean everybody. Not everybody's going to be your buyer. So understanding who your ideal client is will help you attract them through marketing, as Carmen just mentioned. Now, when we say understanding, I know you've heard this before. A lot of people talk about this, but there is more to it. And it's a much deeper process than you might realize to really, truly understand who your ideal client is. And this is crucial research. And it isn't just about seeing a couple of posts on social media or talking to a couple of potential clients or some friends or, basically social listening to see what it is people are talking about. There's a whole lot more to it than that because you've got to have absolute clarity in this area. And the third part of this process is learning how to market to those buyers. Now, it's important that you have to ensure you understand your ideal client's pain points so that you can develop the solutions that mean the most to them. And when I say understand your ideal client's pain points, I mean exactly what Carmen was just talking about, like feeling it, being there with them, truly being right there in their shoes. And if you're just going to sell something that you think will work or something that is in the zone of what's going to work, it's just not enough. This has got to be done with absolute precision and targeted accuracy. So getting to know your ideal client to this level is critical. And the fourth part of this process is researching your competition. Now, if you see competition, a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, there's so many people doing what I want to do. I shouldn't do this. Well, actually, that's a good sign. That's a sign you should do it. Because if you don't see that many others in a similar business, it might be because there isn't enough demand for it. Okay. And quick tip, look at the people who are really successful, uber successful, really big in the space. because that is going to show you that if you kind of study them a little bit and see, who their ideal clients are, that's going to inform you of who your ideal clients are. And I guarantee you, they've been through this business validation process probably multiple times. Mm-hmm. Now, this researching your competition, this is going to allow you to understand what the other people serving your ideal clients are selling. And this knowledge is then going to be able to, you got to take it a step further and identify what's missing from their offering that you can offer. And that's how you're going to set yourself apart from the crowd.
That's right. So as you can see, when you build something without validating first, it's a waste of time, money, and energy. We don't want to waste those things, right? The power of validating means that when you bring it to market and you've done the validation process that Deidre just lined out, your target audience will feel like you are reading their minds, and they will be happy to open their wallet and pocketbook to buy what you're selling. And then the validation process is 4 steps. Identify an idea that sells, hone in on your top buyers, learn how to market to those buyers, and then research your competition to get the information that you need to do to ensure that what you're building is going to be exactly what your clients need, and it's going to be profitable for you. So we want to invite you to join us for the Business Validation Method Workshop. This is a free workshop that we hold 6 times a year. And by joining us, you'll have the opportunity to experience each step of the process and walk away with the framework to follow again and again to ensure success.